This is the EWN Podcast Network.
Welcome to Late Boomers, our podcast guide to creating your third act with style, power, and impact. Hi, I'm Cathy Worthington.
And I'm Mary Elkins. Join us as we bring you conversations with successful entrepreneurs, entertainers, and people with vision who are making a difference in the world.
Everyone has a story, and we'll take you along for the ride on each interview, recounting the journey our guests have taken to get where they are, inspiring you to create your own path to success. Let's get started.
Welcome to Late Boomers, the podcast where we explore inspiration, transformation, and the power of new beginnings in the second half of life. I'm Cathy Worthington.
And I'm Mary Elkins. On this show, we talk to extraordinary people who are redefining what's possible, no matter what their age, their background, or circumstances, and those people who are stepping into their greatest power now.
Today's episode is particularly exciting because we're diving into a topic that affects every one of us, the power we hold within ourselves to shape our lives, not through force, but through awareness, mindset, and personal energy.
And as we move into this phase of life, many people are asking, what's next for me? But the truth is the answer doesn't come from the outside. It comes from tapping into our inner purpose and rewriting the old stories that have held us back.
The stories we tell ourselves can either drain our energy or activate our potential. Neuroscience shows us that every thought creates a pathway in the brain. So if we choose thoughts that empower us, we literally begin to change our future.
And that's what today's conversation is about, how to access our personal power, how to elevate our energy, and how to live with intention and authenticity.
Our guest today is someone who has dedicated her life to helping people do just that.
Hilda Fainsod is an international speaker, transformational leadership coach, and the author of Power Up, The Power is Within You. She hosts a powerful podcast where she explores personal mastery, emotional intelligence, and conscious leadership.
Hilda has worked globally with executives, entrepreneurs, and individuals, helping them reclaim their narratives and activate their personal energy. Her work combines neuroscience, mindset tools, and emotional resilience to guide people toward real and lasting transformation.
And we are so thrilled to have her here with us today. Please welcome to Late Boomers, Hilda Fainsod.
Thank you very much. So glad to be in the conversation. Expected a lot.
It's great to have you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Hilda, welcome to Late Boomers. Your book is titled Power Up. The Power is Within You. What does it truly mean to power up from the inside out?
Yeah, just is to focus inside and to find out meaning and who do you want to become. And of course, when you decide a goal, a challenge, a big target, something you want to achieve, there are a lot of steps and tiny activities you need to do, but the way is not straight. It's full of rocks, and you go up and down a lot.
So true.
So that's because I talk about change, what interfere, and how to remove blockers to achieve results. And of course, how to sustain in the long run what you already want.
That is very true. But people are different, and some people can change quickly and others take forever. And you talk about the narratives we carry, many formed long before we were conscious of them. How do we begin to recognize when a story is running our life, and what's the first step to rewrite it?
Oh gosh, this is so a big question, and I can say a lot about it. The best answer is to listen to yourself. And how do you begin something? This is impossible. Oh gosh, this is so difficult. No, I'm not able to do that. Difficult, impossible. I'm not built that way. I never have been so good in it, so I cannot do that.
All
So
those
if you
stories.
begin all those stories, if you begin your story saying no, this is an alarm, the bell rings, and you need to challenge those stories. Because if not, stories can open the door and can close them too.
So
Yeah.
what's the way to combat that?
Yeah.
The first one is to listen. The other one is to rewrite them. Okay, that was not possible for me in the past, but I did this and that. I have those strengths. I developed this and that. I achieved some goals. So now I'm better and stronger. So, what can be a good story to achieve that? How do I make it possible? What do I need to do? So, to question yourself, to write again what wasn't possible, to allow them to be possible.
So you tell people to write down these things?
Yeah, or to think and to say it out loud. I work with top executives and leaders, entrepreneurs, and I allow them to say it out loud.
Almost like affirmations.
Yeah, and to listen themselves. Okay, you said that it's not possible. If that could be possible, what needs to have? What changes in your mind? What possibilities can you create? So I began a question to reflect. And when you reflect, you can say you are ready for that.
Well, in your work,
Well, you can support others, of course, to achieve results. And with an aid, you can do that.
Well, in your work, you also speak about energy, not just as physical stamina, but as emotional and mental alignment.
Oh, yeah.
So can you explain how our energy reveals where we are giving away our power?
Yeah, every morning we have this emotional state, and we find ourselves when we leave the bed like happy and energized and motivated or not. Maybe you have a concern, you didn't sleep well, you don't feel well, you fear something. So every morning we have a mental state, and we need to recognize that state. And if I energize, perfect. But if not, I can say to myself, okay, this is not the best state, and I need to approach life or a goal or a conversation or a project, a task, an activity, whatever. So, which is my mental state? The best one that I need to have. And to think in terms of mindset. What do I need to put to my mind in order to achieve results today? And for example, I'm from Mexico. I wrote a book in English, and it was a huge challenge. And every time, every day that I sat down, I said to me, what are my three resources? And it was focus, flow, and joy, because I decided to do that. So it doesn't help to begin like, okay, you are not finding the ideas, you are not finding the words. Maybe you are going to sound like a Mexican speaking English. That is awful. It's not going to help me. So flow, and also joy.
Yeah, I love the focus on joy. I love the focus on joy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why not find joy? Because you chose to do it, like you said.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I'm going to suffer, it's not the purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean,
Not the
sometimes
purpose.
it's difficult and we suffer.
well,
I know.
that's-
I think it's hard for writers, particularly, to find joy because they want to write a novel, and it seems like torture. But
Yeah.
really, it's not torture. It's what they chose to do.
And this is a state
Interesting.
of mind. So you can choose. It's not automatic. You need to work on it. You need to question yourself. You need to put you in the state of joy. Okay, maybe I need to smile.
so
Or
how
flow.
would you
Okay.
how would
allow
you
me to-
recommend one step to finding that joy?
Gosh, it says that when you smile,
Mm-hmm.
you say to your mind and your body that everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only smiling.
And
So
that's pretty easy.
That is, it sounds pretty easy, but that is information to our mind and body.
Mm,
And that
It's so true.
yeah.
also is
My
information.
co-host here, Mary Elkins, once gave me a stack of cute little cups that I use for my tea every morning. And I choose usually between the joy and the love, but they say joy, love, hope, peace. And when I take the joy, I say, I'm going to look for joy somewhere today.
Oh.
Okay.
And then I
That
think of
is a
Mary, but
perfect-
I also think, I have a nice cup of tea, and I think of like the joy. It says joy on the cup, so it's like it reminds me.
Yeah,
So I
of
think
course.
any little reminder like that can help us.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That's wonderful,
And-
Cathy. You
and
never
to
told
be,
me that.
To be open. Mm.
Yeah, I do it every
Yeah.
day.
I love that. I should have bought some for myself.
Mhm. Well, maybe we can find them again.
I maybe, or they may
I
be
broke
one
one
of.
and had to buy a new set one time just to get the missing one. So
So Hilda,
I have a couple of them I could give you.
Oh, broken ones.
No, I didn't say the broken ones.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Extra ones.
Hilda, many of our listeners are in a stage of reinvention. What would you say to someone who feels the desire to change but is still held back by that fear or uncertainty?
Okay, everyone, no exceptions in life.
Mhm.
When you want something, it's different, bigger, stronger, higher than you did before.
Mm.
At least different. So it implies a lot.
Yeah.
So there is a part in our brain that looks for survival.
Right.
And this is the one that has a judge inside that says, don't do it. What's the
Mhm.
need?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do that. It's okay the way you are. Don't change. It takes a lot. So there's something that prevents us from changing. And we don't need to listen that voice. Because if we listen at those voices and messages that don't say the truth, they are only preventing from change, we are not going to do anything. So we need to listen to the voice that we have another one in our head that is our thriving brain. And that one will allow us to move no matter if we fear. We fear, we don't know if we can accomplish something different. But we allow ourselves to learn and practice and go step by step with tiny movements that will take us to the place we want to.
Did you go through that process yourself?
Yeah, every day. Every day, because I'm ambitious and I high performer and I love challenges and I want to change something and I want to create a book, a product, something. And gosh, it's so difficult because this is voice in our head and I fear not to know how and I don't have the capabilities that I need. And for example, I'm creating now digital products. And it's so difficult because I don't understand anything. I just run and follow some rules and a guide, and I'm not making it for the moment, not yet. And it's so difficult because I don't know a lot. And
Yeah.
I feel fear, and sometimes I feel shame, and I feel frustration, and I love to move fast, and this is step by step, and sometimes you go behind and you begin again. So every day
It's a
I
Yeah,
feel,
challenge.
yeah, it's a
understandable.
challenge, and there's a fear there. So
Well,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
well, tell us about the leaders on the executives that you've coached from around the world. What are the biggest mindset differences you see between people who step into their power and the ones that stay stuck?
Yeah, gosh, I love the ones. I love the ambitious high performers, and I love the ones that step into their talents and possibilities. I love them because they go and go and go.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to push. It's like a sensation. I need to push people when they don't move. And I do a lot to create awareness, to create possibilities, to allow them with examples of other executives, to share my own experience, to challenge them, to support them, to say, I have you, I have your back. And let's take a small, tiny step, but a small one,
Mm-hmm.
and take it. And you need to move from here to here. It's not to there, to here. And I'm here with you. So they begin very small. And when they feel more secure and safe and confident, they can walk better.
They
So
trust
basically,
you.
the difference, the mindset difference between those who step into their power and stay, and the ones that stay stuck, are is the coaching. It's like you helping
Yeah.
them. It's like
Yeah.
somebody needs to help them, right? Is
And
that the biggest difference? Some people
yeah,
don't need
I
help.
believe also that my personal best times of accomplishment is
Mm-hmm.
because I do have also a coach, or I have a
Uh-huh.
mentor, or I have an accountability partner, or I have the three of them. And it's the best way to support you.
Mm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he's disappointed, and sometimes life gets in the way, and you don't accomplish, and you are tired and sick of it. So you want to stop. And there's
Mm-hmm.
someone that sees that
Hmm.
and help you to overcome those fears.
Right.
And we have change fatigue. We try a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and we not accomplish everything.
I would guess that that means that everybody needs somebody to back them no matter what,
Oh yeah.
because people have so many challenges in life, and a lot of people ask things of people, especially those in leadership positions. And how did they keep from being depleted? Is it having a coach that has their back?
Yeah, an accountability partner too. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
want to begin to be fit and to eat better. So it's better to have somebody to share with you, to create with you, to be co-responsible, to support you, and you will support that person. When I began to work out, I didn't exercise in my life for 4 years. So I began with that, and I hate it. I only knew it was good for my health, but I hate it. And I had an accountability partner. So every morning I opened my eyes and I said, I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my accountability partner at the gym waiting for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
went.
Yeah,
Mm,
Didn't want,
bravo.
but went.
yeah.
And that happens with everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point. You don't want to step into that fear. but you push, right?
Yeah. And in that discomfort, and that way, that moment in life, it was discomfort because I hate it. So for me, it was sacrifice and waking up and go to the gym when I didn't want, and feel and do some exercise and routine. And I didn't have physical conditions. So I even cannot breathe properly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was a tough time, very
Mm-hmm.
discomfort.
Mhm. Well, let's talk about emotions as information. How can we use those emotions you've been talking about strategically rather than being ruled by them?
Yeah, I like the example of an oven, and there's a flame, and you put your hand and you feel the flame. There's heat. So you don't put your hand and begin to reflect oh gosh, is going to burn my hand or it's not. No, you feel the heat and you move your hand, but the heat will tell you what's going on with you. So we can tap our emotions and understand if I'm concerned, sad, really mad about something, disappointed, or happy, blessed,
Mm-hmm.
fulfilled. So we touch a little bit. We allow ourselves to understand my state and to work with my state for a moment and to move. I move my hand
Mm-hmm.
from that flame. Because if you are like in a moment of a victim, that life is so hard, I cannot do that again, it happened to me, as always, blah, blah, blah. So if you stay with your hand, you are going to burn. And this is not the best state to be there. So, okay, what makes me feel like this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see.
I
What
like
can I
that
do
analogy
I
with
different?
do
the
too.
oven.
It's great.
I like that.
So
And
if you,
and you mentioned that leadership begins with self-leadership.
Oh,
So
yeah, of
can you give
course.
us a practical example of how someone can begin leading themselves in their daily life starting today?
Oh, yeah, I love it. To raise the voice in a meeting.
Oh.
You are in a meeting and you have a great idea, or you have a comment, or you have a point of view, and you don't say anything. Why is that?
Mm,
Mhm.
You need
mm-hmm.
to have a presence and you need to have a voice. And
Yeah.
that voice is the best
And
to
that must happen a lot with
allow
women.
I
allow
was about to
to
say that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
allow
Yeah.
to be a leader also in the room
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and to
women do
make
have
your
a problem
point.
with that at times
Oh,
because
yeah.
when they're sitting there, especially when you're surrounded by men, they may not
Mm-hmm.
speak as loud, and then a man will pick up the idea and say it, and they become the one who's praised.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it has been an issue, not so much anymore. Women are taking their power, but
Yeah. And also, you need to understand that we are so wired in a different way. Men
Mm-hmm.
and women, but all human beings, we are so differently wired that we need something to say. We really need.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true. Can you give us an example of something that occurred um, in business where you taught someone to take their power?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do have mastermind groups, and sometimes I have the director and the manager, and the style of a leader allows the others to be open and to
Mm-hmm.
share and to reflect and to uh, place a point of view, or the style can block them. So
Mm-hmm.
I talk a lot with managers that they don't feel comfortable because they think the boss is not allowing them to speak. And I said,
Yeah.
and your talent and your point of view and your possibilities, why people needs to miss what you want to say. Maybe it's a very smart idea. So you need to say that out loud.
Mm.
Mhm.
You hear a lot about being resilient and bouncing back. How is your approach to bouncing back different, and how do you define true resilience? And how can we build it in a way that's sustainable rather than bouncing around?
Yeah, I read once that resilience is something that happens when you're a child. That environment teach you to be resilient, to overcome what's happened with the resources that you have in that particular moment. And I do believe in that. So every time you prepare your kids with possibilities and answers and perspective, you allow them to come back from a setback and to be resilient. And I do that a lot. I cry a lot. A lot is one of my expressions. So I cry when I'm happy and I'm excited and I concerned and I'm sad and I cry a lot. So I allow myself to cry and to feel that disappointment and pressure. And after that, I clean up my tears, I breathe, and I said, okay, next action. Okay, I touch my sadness, next action. I don't stay too much in emotions that will not allow me to overcome. I don't do that.
Good point.
Yeah. The very definition of
in
resilience.
coaching, we talk about no resources, to be in a place of no resources, and to be in a place full of resources and possibilities. And no resources is that to cry and to be there and to feel like a victim of the circumstances and that is unfair, and to stay there is a place of no resources. I can cry and complain and nothing will happen there. So I need to move to a different place.
You need to reach
And
out.
I do that.
Reach out to
and
your...
I do that. Yeah. And I do that with my clients. Okay, let's complain for a moment. You complained already? Okay. You are mad already? Okay. How to move from there? Because this is not the place you want to be.
And along that same line, you teach that words are powerful activators.
Oh, yeah.
So can you share some language shifts that listeners can implement immediately to change their internal dialogue?
Yeah, and I love it. And my clients love that part. This morning, I was in a podcast, and the other person said a word that I love, that is, let's explore. And explore is like, oh gosh, it feels light and free and creative and full of possibilities. So it's not a final decision that it sounds so tough. So let's play with the idea. Only explore. So that is a way I use language that change my inner state and my possibilities.
That's a good word.
Absolutely.
Keep in mind.
Give us some more words that people might use.
Possibilities. Okay, you said no, no, no. Okay, let's play with possibilities. What can be possible? And that is also a powerful word.
Possible.
Yeah.
Possible.
Because we become like, okay, this is not possible here.
And yet,
in this culture,
just
in
about
this
everything is possible in some way.
In some way.
So
Or
if
to
you
make it possible,
yeah,
what we need to do, what changes in my mind need to be there.
Well, before we close this segment, we've been discussing this. What is the one thing you hope every listener takes away about their own power and the possibility of changing or working in this new chapter of life?
Okay, I love that question. Thank you, Mary. I believe in stages. You don't want the same when you are in your 20s or 30s than in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and plus. And we change, and we need to allow ourselves to create new changes and possibilities and motivations because we are in a different stage. For example, I do have two kids, and they are grown ups, and they had married, and they have their own lives. And it's amazing to share with them, but actually, they are not home anymore. So that allowed me to fly this Friday to Spain, to Madrid, because my daughter lives there, and to stay there and work from there 3 months.
Oh.
Because it's my time with her.
Mm-hmm.
Why can I do that? Because my son is also married and is not anymore at home. So you can redefine and reinvent and create in a different stage, a different life. And I have the opposite. And this is a great example. One of my clients, a woman, an executive, a smart lady, she had a project in America, in Latin America, in a country, and I saw her for coaching the next Monday. And she said, I'm so tired. I just came on Friday night after finishing the project. And it was so hard, so tough, but finally. And I said, gosh, that sounds so good. And I'm wondering if you stood there because it was chilly and maybe you have a different air, a different climate, a different people, restaurants, food, wine, etc. And she said, no, I didn't. And I said, why? It was weekend. Because I always finish a project and I come back home, for the kids. And I said, yeah, I know. A woman more or less as my age. And I said, okay, tell me, when you began that practice, how old were your kids? Well, newborn, so 2 and 4. And now, how old are they? And she said 24 and 26. And I said, gosh.
It's a different life.
They age, and she didn't take chances, different chances in life. And at different stages, we can decide in a different way. And this is an invitation to think, what do you want and you deserve and you will accomplish in this stage of life.
I like that advice. It's really good.
I do too.
Like, consider
Powerful.
what has changed. I mean, things change
What has
around you even
changed?
when you don't change.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to recognize that. That's great.
That's it, Cathy.
Hilda, thank you for sharing your wisdom and practical tools with us. This conversation has been a powerful reminder that we don't have to wait for external circumstances to change in order to transform our lives. We can begin within.
Oh,
yeah.
That is so true. And for our listeners, if you feel something stirring inside you after hearing this, an idea, a possibility, a challenge, that's your inner power waking up. Follow it, explore it, and that's where your next chapter begins.
We encourage you to check out Hilda's work, her book, Power Up, and her podcast, where she continues these conversations on personal mastery and conscious leadership. And Hilda, what's the name of your podcast? How do they find that?
My podcast is in Spanish. Momentum is going to be alive in the next 2 weeks. And I did have another one, a leadership podcast, Futurum. So they are in Spanish, and all that I have in English are interviews with people
Yeah, like on this
you.
one.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah. And what's your website, by the way?
Yeah, hildafainsod.com.
Okay. People can
And all
tune into
social
that.
media is Hilda Fainsod also. So
Mhm.
thank you very much for this conversation. It was astonishing.
You're welcome.
For
Thank
us
you.
too,
Thank
by
you.
the way. Share this episode with a friend who might need a reminder of their own power, and subscribe to Late Boomers and leave us a review. And again, share this interview and share our other interviews on Late Boomers, so that people need to be reminded of their own power. So until next time, remember, it's never too late to step into your purpose, reclaim your energy, and write the most powerful chapter of your life. Thank you for listening to Late Boomers.
Thank you for joining us on Late Boomers, the podcast that is your guide to creating a third act with style, power, and impact. Please visit our website and get in touch with us at
lateboomers.us.
If you would like to listen to or download other episodes of Late Boomers, go to ewnpodcastnetwork.com.
This podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and most other major podcast sites. We hope you make use of the wisdom you've gained here and that you enjoy a successful third act with your own style, power, and impact.